Dracotail, plain old Dracotail. Dracotail, let's take him away. Welcome back. It's good to see you. You've had people go on and on about what they like and what they don't like as far as Dracotail is concerned, but we most definitely have to talk a little bit, so let's talk. Welcome back. My bad. So guys, most definitely there are insane combo lines. Gonna do a combo video around this young lady. She's very, very powerful. Gets her job done. She's very, very simple. You don't have to play her, but I absolutely like her. Basically, she's wolf bark for the deck and being able to special something back. So when you open up a lot of the different names, so I guess we'll just talk about that and then I'll show it in a combo video if you don't know what in the world I mean after this. But basically, if you're opening up these with like a Femina or a way to fuse besides like the Rahu Dracotail, because you don't want to get locked specifically into them, you want to be able to make a Secretarion, which is why I'm going over this. You're making a Secretarion using a combination of one of these, as long as one is a spellcaster and one is a dragon of some sorts. You have other dragons, obviously, inside of the deck, but being able to essentially from there special summon out a name into the grave, or even put her into the grave and then special her back. And if you used one of these inside of that fusion summon, you're getting to plus even more. So she's definitely a little bit of an unbreak, a little bit of a extender. She's going to extend into hand traps, which is kind of weird, but it's still relatively decent. And then just it gets her job done when she's there, and you don't need to play more than one. So I absolutely love this card. Very, very insane card. Helps make Secretarion even crazier, and I kind of want to play two because the other guy just doesn't come up like that. But obviously to go with that pseudo starter, you have the real starter, which is YUGIOH. She's definitely insane. Gets her job done. She's like the point guard for the deck, the Stratos for the deck. You guys know what she does. Essentially go for Femina every single time. Or if you have like another way through a Dracotail, Rahu Dracotail line, you have something, but I mean, that's up to you. Triple Malulu, this is the pure build. I still believe in it. Don't have to agree with it. I definitely see where people, if you're playing a mashup build like the Dragon Maids, you want to play two. Most of the time, but for the pure build, I'm playing three. I want to fuse every single game as often as possible. To go along with that, I'm playing double pan. I've realized the strength of having one in the hand loaded up, one in the grave to special summon back. If one of your fusions is wiped out, if it's destroyed, you get to special summon back Lucius most of the time. So pan is absolutely phenomenal, and it gets its job done as well. But the non-target pop is absolutely ignorant, as well as the MST. I feel like you only need to play one of Urgula. You can play multiples of it, but at some point, they just don't do anything by themselves. And like everybody says, it's low to the ground. Sorry for the cliche, but it definitely is a low to the ground deck. You don't need to do a whole lot, and you don't need to see spell and trap pops like that. But he does help recur the resources that is Femina, which is the fusion summon out of your hand, which is having this. If you played Tier Element in the past, she's the new school version of her, except it's specifically locked into the dragons and the spellcasters. So you make sure you don't get cheated by that. That's pretty much all for the Dracotail names. The double Cartesia, I side one. I also want to fuse with this card as much as possible, and I'm playing a specific tech that I feel is decent enough to play. And if you're not feeling the third Cartesia, you could play something else, but I definitely would highly recommend that. But the Cartesias absolutely do their job as well to just get the fusion summons on the board. That if you're not fusing, you're not winning. And you can make something 90% of the time or higher if you draw a Cartesia and something. You're gonna draw a Dracotail name or a way to get to it. You're gonna draw something, just trust me. But this also outs Retaliating Seed, which I think is absolutely phenomenal and necessary, just like Fualos is necessary. Just like Ash Blossom isn't necessarily necessary, but I definitely feel like when you have an ability to play inside of formats where you don't know if you're going to go first or second every single time, Ash is just a stronger card, and it's just a rogue killer. So you can't not play it at the moment, and it's the counter to Charmy their own Fualos, and this also counters Droll. It's just, you have to play this. I feel like you have to play this, but you obviously can side this at times in some decks. This deck, I don't feel that way though, because looping Ash is dumb, looping Valor is dumb, Spellcaster. Shout out to the alternate art. I need to get myself some of those. Triple Droll. This is where the changes have come. Is not at the moment, not in the main. Droll has just been better, and it's a spellcaster. And with one of your primary matchups being Mitsurugi, I mean, it speaks for itself. And then I'm playing double Nib and double Ghost Spell. Just for the matchups, you're gonna not want to draw this against a mirror. You are gonna want to see this in the mirror. You're gonna want to see them both against Yummy. You're gonna want to, you have to be careful of it just gets the job done, even against K9, like being able to hit like a Lupus or something. If they really open nuts, then this is okay. But that can be like, oh, well, I have to negate, maybe I have to negate that. Or they've already went into the Ripper, and then you're like, then they have to counter that. Then you're like, okay, we're on line. If they extended into multi armies, it is what it is. If they've already extended, then your 5 mana is wide open to get there. So it's a lot. You have to play this deck well, because it doesn't do a whole lot, but it does its job, and that's sometimes all you need. Triple, and 3 trap. Yeah, people aren't feeling this card like that. People are siding this card. I specifically wanted to talk about this one because its ability to target and or a spell or trap a monster and or a spell or trap in your opponent's graveyard and banish them absolutely does come up, and it screws over Fiendsmith, which has been the primary thing that's been dominating for me. But I also just enjoy this card in general, just for the simple fact that it can help get an additional trap on the board. I don't feel like it's always game over when you open these. It's just a really, really basic mathematical deck that, yeah, you're gonna kind of screw yourself if you open these, but you can win the game. So I just wanted to mention that these cards are absolutely ignorant. I like this card. You can side it. I definitely recommend Frixel. Hope I'm saying her name right. I'll probably, however you say her, she's doing her job, and she's really, really clean. I need to get the high rarity version though. 40 in the main. 3. Watch that be like 41. Who knows? No, I really have been dumbing this deck down, just because like the Dragon Maid version is probably one of the most fun versions. The branded version is probably the most powerful. That's the one I'm going to try next, because light. I definitely feel like just simplifying what you're doing is just enough with this deck. Don't try to get cute with it, because like the evaporation drag and the sublimation drag, they're not, it's not enough. I'm just telling you, against a good player, it's not enough. I guarantee you that. They're really, really cool cards, but like they're gonna have the 3 baits for the lad, and then they're gonna crack you with the card advantage that they have if they know how to play the deck. That's just what it is. So you kind of have to just win the interactions. And the pure version, I feel like, is still kind of the best. I don't care about K9 because of Fenrir still. I'm still really, really strong. Also, very, very dominant in this format. I'm thinking about bumping this card up. And Book of Eclipse, I definitely have to recommend Book of Eclipse as well, simply because it can win a dice roll regardless. They may try to shock you, or a Yummy player may be like, oh, you go first. And you're like, cool. Go off. Oh, you didn't do anything? Set. Now, guarantee you can't fuse or do anything with this, but Yummy can't play through this well with only one arc light. So that's my thought process on that. I'm definitely going to try this out. But just the basics, I feel like, what do you really need to do? You got really 6 cards that kind of handle their situations, and then controlling the pace, controlling the board state. And I still take Luna Light seriously, and Malice players are pretty prevalent around me still, so I would highly recommend it. And with that, I have to talk a little bit about the fusions. Still believe in 2. It comes up enough for me to not want to cut it. I definitely will be cutting this. It's like the Obedient Schooled lines are the only time this is going to land. and it's at 1. Fila, the little knight in the fusion form that just being able to banish something, it's just a nasty card that if you time it right, obviously you have to fuse a dragon, make sure we get the materials right. 1 dragon fusion monster and 1 level 7 or higher dragon monster. So a lot of times it's going to be an Artheon that's just kind of sitting around or may have floated back even, and as well as another dragon fusion monster. It's just really smooth and easy to happen. And if you use the Secretarion, for instance, that's already used its effect, then you just can kind of like burn it and then go into this, you know, and this is going to easily get into this because you're going to be using materials, putting stuff on and off the board. Philia drops onto the board. Very good card. Very underrated. It ends the game a lot, just like these cards end the game a lot, and that is Cross Sheet as well as Selene and Access. You play Veilers and you play enough spells, which this card will get even dumber if I do decide on this. But I definitely feel like having the Veilers always kind of live in there, so you're always going to get the 1 revive to get to the Access. It's always going to be online, so, you know. And Veilers, if you kind of chump block them or taking their legs out with a couple of Veilers that landed, they're really in range to get Access coded and killed. Even if you're not being able to kill them through like a barrier or something, you can still load up your hand and even blow their whole board out and then load up with a Phimina that they can't count. So there's just a lot. And then if they call by, that's why I feel like you have to play Ghost Belt, because if they call by a Phimina, you're screwed. So you have to play Ghost Belt somewhere still. And Ghost Ogre is the card that is lost out of the main. With that all being said though, I felt like Ghost Ogre would have been in the way, so I just put this back into my extra deck, and I've still just been doing this instead of the other fusion stuff, the Crowleys and all that stuff. The Magister stuff is probably the most interesting one. Without Spoon, what are you really doing? And I just want to control the game. That's just what I'm going for, and that's what these are, is controlling the game. Legacia is really dumb. I'm still going back and forth between this and the Snake Eyes card that we put in the tech video the other day. I really like Legacia, and I really missed my favorite card in my side, which was Skill Drain. But I just feel like you need to have these most dominant cards that will win in their scenarios every single time over Skill Drain that will win in the high majority of the time, but not all the time like these two. So kind of is what it is with that. And if they don't hand trap you or interact with you at all, then you know, we can bluff with it. And with that,